You don't talk about it because of who's doing it. I had a very happy childhood when I was younger, probably up until I was about 10 years old. Things changed. It was always me and my sister that was just above me. Growing up, she was the one that I pretty much followed. I stayed with my mother and my sister on the east side of St. Paul. My mother worked overnights, well, the PM shift. My mother and father divorced when I was 9, and at the time my father was an alcoholic, and so my mother didn't feel it was good for him to be around us. So my father wasn't around, and I really had no male figure, and I didn't think it was a wrong thing at the time. I didn't realize how much I needed to have my father. I missed him like crazy because I was daddy's girl. Probably up until I was about 10 years old, things changed. When I was 10, I was molested by my mother's boyfriend. At first, I didn't tell my mother. I didn't know what to do. I told my friends, and they told me, you have to tell your mother. You have to tell your mother. So I told my mother, and I didn't get the response that I thought I was going to get. She asked me what I did to make him do that to me. And I was 10. I wasn't expecting her to say that. My mother told me not to tell anybody, and she was whispering it into the phone. Don't tell anybody. And I hung up the phone and I went back to my friends, and I didn't tell them what happened, but I cried. Things were never the same. I never looked at my mother the same. I told my sister my mother's boyfriend molested me. She told my brother. Somehow my father found out, and he shot up my mother's boyfriend's house. The man didn't die. She had him apologize to me, and he didn't remember because he was drunk. And it didn't make me feel any better. My mother never thought to give me any kind of therapy. I put myself in therapy. I think I was more bothered by how my mother responded than by what happened itself. I think that hurt me more. I didn't know how to have relationships with the opposite sex, about what was acceptable behavior and what wasn't. I didn't want to be touched. I had a thing about being touched. Looking back now, I noticed a pattern of me being passive, and for whatever reason, along with that, I guess having some kind of control over me became physical abuse, and several relationships after that were physically abusive, and I tie it back to my passivity and because of my first relationships without my father. I sought therapy out. Unfortunately, I chose group therapy. To me, they acted like nothing was wrong, so I left the group. When I was a young mother of about 23, I met a young man. We thought we wanted to be married, and so we started looking into religion to marry and raise our children. Long story short, we came upon the religion of Islam. When I converted to Islam for the very first time in my life, I felt like burdens were taken off of me. Any shame and guilt that I had been removed from me regarding the abuse. It took me finding God and finding comfort in God for the very first time in my life to actually forgive. Because before then, I wanted to forget, but I couldn't. And because I couldn't forget, I couldn't forgive. And when I say forget, I mean forget about the way that I felt, the scumminess, the shame. I feel that women of color have always been not just sexualized, but overly sexualized. Even within our own families, I feel like we're sexualized. And one of the reasons why these experiences become taboo is because of who is doing this to us. It's usually a well-known member of the community, a grandfather, a sibling, and the taboo is shame, because your mother doesn't want anybody to know that their son molested their daughter or that their own father molested them. So that's the taboo in speaking out and speaking up. As well as being over-sexualized, it's almost like we don't have feelings, that like it doesn't matter. We don't matter what happens to us. I would have really, really liked somebody when I was younger, like when I went to that group counseling, to really treat me like a person and not just a case number, and to say that they were really sorry that it's happened to me. Moving forward, I think things that I would like to see is, I don't know how we can get it out there more about resources. I know that efforts are made. All I know is there's strength in numbers, that the more people know, the more people are aware, the more we share, the word gets out there. So right now, where I'm at, I'm a firm believer that things happen for a reason, the good and the bad. I know this isn't for a lot of people. Even in my passivity, I learned that there was a power in my owning my sexuality. I'm more at peace with myself and with what happened. I don't hate anybody. I don't wish bad on anybody, but I want to know why. To you who has survived this, or to the child who is going through this, you're not just a name, you're not just a number, and you matter. And you're a survivor. You're not the only one. And like I said, there's strength in numbers. Reach out, even if nobody's reaching to you. Don't become that statistic. Be the statistic that makes that change.